must realize you are doomed.
Thanks for joining the Scoundrels. My name is Dave. With me on the panel is Rich.
Hey, how's it going?
We also got Jared.
What's up? How you doing?
And we got Vic.
Yo.
Hey, fellas, how we doing?
Good.
Doing good?
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Before we get started, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to let you know, please, if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and please, as always, leave your comments down below. All right, gentlemen, let's get started. This segment, we're going to be talking about the Snyder Cut Justice League. Right away, I'm just going to ask you guys, I'll start with Vic. Did you guys see the original theatrical cut of Justice League?
Yeah.
Jared?
I did.
Yeah,
Sadly,
everybody,
yes.
Rich?
Yeah.
Sadly, yes. And did you even like it? Did you think it was okay? Did anything pop out at you in the original theatrical movie?
The thing that popped out was Superman's lips in the first minute.
Physically popped out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no positive feedback on that original theatrical version. Not
I
too
really
much.
Go for it, Rich.
No, not really.
I really like the
I
color
kinda-
grading. The color grading was really nice. Like, in my opinion, I like that better than the Snyder Cut. Just how all the colors do pop. So
I kind of made the mistake of I started watching the newest one, and then I was like, I think 30 minutes in, and Jared's like, "Hey, you should watch the original." So automatically, I started comparing, right off the bat.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
All right, well, let's get to the Snyder Cut. So, Zack Snyder got into Snyder Cut. Did you guys expect that it was going to be a different movie, or were you like some other people saying, "Oh, it's just just going to be adding more scenes, and that's just about it"? Jared, I'll start with you. Did you expect that it's going to be actually more of a different view than you expected?
I mean, being that it was 4 hours long, I was like, this is gonna be just like a bunch of added stuff. But like Whedon seemed to just like butcher the whole thing, like just added so much stuff and made it like a little 2 hour, like tight little movie. But there was no story for Cyborg or like Flash. And so I didn't really like expect like all that, but I got like so much character development, and it was just like a completely different movie. So I was a little surprised by that.
Vic, how about you, my man?
yeah, it was exactly what Jared said. Like the way the movie was. Well, the question was, did I expect anything from the Snyder Cut, right? Like,
Yeah, did you expect that it was just going to be added scenes and not really an actual kind of a different movie?
yeah, I didn't. You know what? I didn't really know what to expect. I just came in like fresh. I was gonna give it a chance anyways. I was like, how bad could it be? I already went through the first one. How bad could it be? So
Yeah. Hmm.
yeah.
One big question too, before this even premiered, was when they heard that a lot of people are saying 4 hours. I don't have time for 4 hours. And Rich, I just want to hit you with a question of, did that deter you in any sense of watching this because it was 4 hours?
Well, definitely. And also, I heard so many bad things about the original, and I know this one's a Snyder cut, but I think this movie is like one of the most hyped up things out there. Like every week, or it felt like every week, there was a new thing like on Instagram or IGN or something, just hyping up the movie, saying, "Oh, they got this in there, they got that in there," and it was just getting built up so much. And I just didn't know if it was going to be just a major letdown, or I didn't know what to expect. I was going in blind. I wasn't for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was hearing rumblings of 4 hours. Well, who has 4 hours? You know what? We're living in these days where it's all about streaming, and this is on HBO Max. And it was getting me a little frustrated because I said, it's on HBO Max. You don't have to sit for hours at the movie theater, which there have been movies in the past that long in the movie theater and giving you an intermission. Titanic is one that I can think of right away. But it's it's like, okay, it's on a streaming. And what Zack Snyder did, I totally loved it, was he actually broke it down into like, I think it was 5 or 6,
Parts. Yeah.
parts
Yeah.
where you could actually watch it like you're watching a 4-hour series, limited
Yeah.
series. And I think that was brilliant on his part, how he kind of broke it down like that. Jared, let me get into, let's talk about the first part of it, I guess. Did you like the Amazons and Steppenwolf? Did you like how Steppenwolf, how he visually looked compared to the
Yeah.
original? His character build up. Did you like how Steppenwolf was in this one?
Yeah, he had like his armor just like constantly moving and stuff, and like deflecting bullets and like swords and stuff like that was like super cool. And also like they like gave him some like Puss in Boots like little like cat eyes, and he was just like he was kind of like I don't know. He just kind of like felt for him when he was like talking to Desaad, like he's like he's like so desperate to like get back to his world. Or whatever.
Yeah.
And but yeah, like the Amazon fight and all that was just like so much better. Like they just like added shots like it
Yeah.
like a scene that would have taken 30 seconds and the other one took like 5 minutes in this one, and just like gave like the movie like room to breathe. So from that standpoint, it was just like so much better.
Vic, did you like how Steppenwolf was compared to the original?
I really like him as a main like boss fight. Like compared to like anything that I've seen so far, I just really like him. His suit's freaking awesome. I mean, they gradually do like the upgrading thing where like they show you a little bit more about his suit. Like at some point it just looks flashy, then it's like tearing down arrows, then it's just taking all these hits. His axe gets electricity powers, like then he gets the little glowing eyes by the end of it. Like he just looked like, I don't know, he just looked like he was they were giving him more screen time and more of a fleshed out narrative.
Yeah.
And it just made me like him a lot for the same reasons Jared said. I like how he had like a motive and like some sort of way to like slightly sympathize with. Like he's still an asshole. Like he's still a bad guy. You can't, forget how he like chewed up Amazons and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But compared to the other one was just like some like humanoid looking like just like normal looking dude, and it was just so lame.
Yeah.
Did they for the last one? Did they have him throwing horses on the Joss Whedon one, Rich?
I could have swore he did. I know whenever the Amazons were running away, he ran and bumped them. He ran and bumped
horses,
whenever when they thought they were getting away.
Just throwing horses.
But he didn't. That scene wasn't in there where he grabbed them and like swung them across the thing. That wasn't in there.
Yeah.
But.
Rich, so did you like the villains in this Snyder Cut with Darkseid and Steppenwolf? Do you like the villains in this movie?
I was gonna say that I really love the fact that they actually added Darkseid in this one. A lot more. Like even whenever they were talking about the backstory of the 3 mother cubes or mother boxes, it was all about Darkseid. Remember in the original that it was actually about Steppenwolf, and whenever she was explaining, she was saying Steppenwolf had to retreat, and that some say that drove him mad because he retreated. But this one was all about Darkseid. And I love in the Snyder Cut, whenever they were explaining that, they explained a lot more about who was fighting with the Amazons and the Atlanteans. Like in the original, they showed the guy shooting the electricity. I didn't know who that was. I thought it was just like some, random dude. But in the Snyder Cut, they explained that was Zeus and Ares and a lot of the Greek gods that actually fought with them. So, and they also, one of my favorite parts of it is they showed a little bit more of the Lantern Corps. I really like the fact that they had some of the Green Lanterns fighting in there too. But the villains, I was really happy they actually added Darkseid into it. But let me comment on his suit. His suit was badass because I know the part Vic's talking about whenever they were shooting arrows and they just stuck to him, and then his
Yeah.
armor just cut him off. I was like, wow, this is like, and also the voice, they changed his
Oh
voice,
yeah, his
right?
voice.
His
Yeah.
voice
Yeah.
is way better.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
loved it.
Yeah.
Like
He had a
the
little
other
lisp
one,
too.
yeah, the other one just wasn't intimidating at all in
No.
the original. This
I-
one,
Yeah.
super, not it was just a lot better. I liked it a
Yeah.
lot.
The other
I know.
one was just too cartoony for me, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
It was really, really CGI a lot. Not saying that this new one wasn't, but it was just too cartoony and he wasn't intimidating whatsoever in the original. This one, you get us a little sense, okay, why they feared him.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a dude. Don't
Yeah.
mess with this
Yeah.
man. And so they were just intimidating. Darkseid was great. He was intimidating as well.
Yeah.
He just walked away after he saw Steppenwolf, get demised. He just walked away and basically just say, all right, well, I'm just gonna gather my army. We're gonna go head
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah.
Like it was nothing, like a boss.
Yeah.
He did a boss move.
I mean, he
And,
even broke the guy's skull. Whenever
Yeah.
Steppenwolf, he just crushed it. Like he
He
didn't
just
mean
looked
anything
at
to
it.
him.
He just looked at him and he gave him that look like, you idiot, and just stepped on him, like, come on.
Can I
And
comment on
so-
something right there? Like,
Yeah.
when he stepped on Steppenwolf, right? Like, did his eye
Yeah.
did his eye stop glowing blue like a Terminator or something? Was his
Oh,
eye
I
still
did even
blue
did
and then
it?
I didn't
Yeah.
even notice
it
that.
shut down?
I
trying
didn't
to
even
With
notice
eyes, but
that.
yeah.
No, it did or no?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I want to get in more to the Snyder Cut as far as, okay, going into this, some people are either fans of Zack Snyder and don't really like how he does it, because this is not as colorful, not as bright as what we got in original with, because a lot of people want to compare like the Marvel and DC. And it's kind of like how they have the black and white version, but it is more darker. It's not as much humor as the original one is, which I was totally fine about. I was kind of like, this is good, because leave that shit for Marvel. Leave the colorness and the joking. Leave that for Marvel. Be your own identity. And this is how I liked how he did it, as far as being a little bit more darker. Not trying to copy of the Marvel platform. And I really appreciated this version. Did you guys feel the same way as I did? And are you a fan of Zack Snyder to begin with, and you knew what you were expecting if he had full rings like he did on this movie?
Yeah, I mean, I like Watchmen. So but like seeing him like actually do his Justice League, I can't believe what DC was thinking, like kicking this out and bringing in Whedon and changing it all up.
Yeah.
I think a lot of those execs actually got fired for that.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, like, just like, because like the whole like colorful thing that just doesn't really work for DC. I don't think, like, it's supposed to be dark and gritty. And if you watch the theatrical one, there's so many one-liners, and just like the movie ends, then Cyborg goes booyah, just like stuff like that. It's just like so Marvel, and Marvel does it 10 times better. So
Yeah.
it's just
Mhm.
just kind of like stay in your lane.
One of the things I really loved about that Snyder changed was, I didn't like how goofy and clumsy and just like scared they made Flash in the theatrical version.
Yes.
Like the part whenever they're about to go save the hostages in the theatrical version, he even starts panicking. He's like, I've never done this before. I've only stolen a few things and pushed people over or whatever. And in this one, they cut that completely out, and he was just normal Flash. He actually helped him out and everything, but he wasn't scared like in the theatrical version. And they just cut out a bunch of the like cheesy, like goofy parts that he did, and they actually made him even more badass, like with the scenes right to kick off his them showing him whenever he saves that girl that was in the car accident. Like right there, it was just a completely different Flash for me from the original.
And supposedly that's supposed to be Iris West, and I don't know how people know that, but that's
Oh, really?
really interesting. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that. And to the point of like, are we like Snyder fans? I stay away from like social media and stuff, so I don't know about like how much the rabid fans like,
It's pretty
uh,
toxic.
yeah, how they
Mhm.
like give you the perception of Zack Snyder, like in place of who Zack Snyder is.
Yeah.
But like I think he's fine as a director. He's done like some good movies and some bad ones, just like every other director. My whole problem with the whole color thing was that we didn't know, like as a fan base, that, or at least I didn't, that it was Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, and then Justice League. I didn't know that that's how like the progression of this trilogy thing was 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 unfolding.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
if it is like that, right, you can't mess up the color grading on the third movie. This, like it went Man of Steel, still has that Zack Snyder look, that like grainy, dark, CGI filled stuff. And then Batman
Yeah.
vs Superman, same exact thing. And then it goes to super colorful Justice League, Joss Whedon one. Like you can't do that
Yeah.
on the third one. It's just weird. So I like the consistency now,
Yeah.
and now that they have like a basis, it's fine. But I think DC or any property can lend itself to super colorful. If you just look at the Suicide Squad trailer for the
Oh
second
yeah.
one, it's super colorful and it looks like it's going to be a pretty good movie. So
Mhm.
I think the colorful stuff does work. You just need, with DC and all those guys, like they just need to get their like, stuff together, because it's their uh ability to not communicate with each other that always creates the downfall. So that's why
Mhm.
like we've seen terrible Spider-Man after Spider-Man, or on their end, or like Fantastic Four movies just go down the drain, or the Green Lantern movie, like it's the executives and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
think, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're right. You're right. I
Go.
just piggyback on that. I'll give you 1 second. Give me 1 minute here, Rich. Just to piggyback on that. Yeah, Zack Snyder had a vision, and it looked like the Warner Brothers executives finally said, "Okay, go ahead. Here's a couple $1 million. Do your version." Uh, it's like giving him the director full reins. They want to go over there and chop it all up. We
Yeah.
hear it all the time. And a perfect example of that, other than this movie here, is, if you really think about it, is, I know it's Marvel. We're talking about Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad 2. Everybody's saying, "Oh, the trailer dropped and it looks really good." Well, yeah, because James Gunn's doing it and they're letting him do it full range.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The original Suicide Squad probably didn't do so good, or it got bad reviews. And it might not have been David Ayer's fault, because it was chopped up by the
Yeah.
executives. So that's just, let these artists, these directors that are artists, do their thing. But you got these executives who just want to change it, and it just messes it up a lot. And I think this is the perfect, you know, reason of saying, hey, let these artists, these directors, do what they do.
Yeah.
Kind of say, I mean, you can have your input, of course, because you're putting your finances in it, but let it turn out how they envision it. Don't totally change it like we hear all the time in the past. All right, Rich, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
Go
you,
ahead.
you were asking about Zack Snyder and all that stuff. I wasn't even too familiar with Zack Snyder until they start talking about this. I didn't know the stuff that he's directed, but I do remember seeing that they said the Snyder Cut had nearly 30 minutes of slow motion. So I was like, okay, this guy loves his slow mo. And after watching it, all the slow mo parts, they were fantastic. But I just looked it up right now as you were asking about Zack Snyder, and I see 300, and that's like 50% slow mo. So I see why he did it. But can you guys give me, because I have zero idea of why he got replaced. What was the reason? Because I know he
Uh,
started it, and then Josh Whedon took over, and then he came
well,
back, or he did his
actually,
own
well,
version.
I think correct me if I'm wrong, fellas, but I think something personal happened with his
Yeah.
daughter, perhaps. So he had to leave.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
okay.
was it was it was like a couple things too, because like after Batman versus Superman, like there's a lot of like bad like reviews and stuff. So WB started panicking, and they were like, all right, we need to make the Justice League more like Marvel. But also like Zack Snyder's daughter, I think she committed suicide, and that's like a big thing that like he like couldn't really balance like the movie life
Wow.
and like his like personal life and stuff. But yeah, they also want it to be like a lot like Marvel, and that's how it happened. That's how the horrible like theatrical cut happened.
I don't know if you saw the dedication to her at the end, Rich, where it
Yeah, I
says
didn't know.
for Autumn, or if you like
No, I saw that. I
looked
didn't
it up.
know.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that was for.
Yeah.
Wow.
He also put in a billboard when like Batman was like driving off. It was "You are not alone." It's like a suicide like hotline type of thing, and it was like a
Yeah.
big like billboard in the background.
Wow. I did not know that.
Speaking of the slow motion, did that? I know Rich gave him his your input on the slow motion. Did that work for you, Jared? The slow motion, was it too much?
Oh,
Was
yeah.
it okay?
I mean, telling from my background, I just like the Flash scene and like the football scene alone, like those were just like so epic. Just like the Flash scene could have taken like 30 seconds, but they just like slowed it all down, and they like just like Flash's backstory, just like alone, like his character development in that like one moment of him like saving that like girl, that was all because of like slow-mo pretty much. And it just like adds like so much to the story, and there's so much style with it. I mean, just like the 300, it just like makes it epic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also
I think-
Watchmen too.
I think it creates a source of tension too. Like whenever Wonder Woman is throwing up the bomb,
Oh
when you're
yeah.
just seeing that in slow motion. Yeah, you could do it in regular motion, but just seeing her do that act of heroism, it lets you like take it in. You really like see the stakes of it. You heard how big the bomb is and how it's gonna flatten whatever blocks, and you're just
Yeah.
like you're waiting for it, and it just gives you that like chance to like hold your breath and then exhale when it's all over. So
See, even that part
stuff like that.
that was better in the Snyder cut than the theatrical.
Yeah.
Like theatrical, she just throws it.
Those
Throws
When
it.
they
Boom,
when they get
and it
that
pops.
zoom out shot of her like there, and you just see like just the heroism, I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I get so moved by stuff like that.
But like what Jared was saying with like the Flash scenes, they were perfect, because they were slow motion, but they also put the perfect music in the background.
Oh yeah.
Like that scene with the girl in the car crash is like
That
it
song is
gets
so
like a
good.
lump in your throat. And you're like, why? I don't even
Yeah.
know. I don't even know these people yet.
They
Like
got-
they just
Yeah.
introduced Barry Allen, and then this happens, and the whole time he's like giving the lady his resume, he's being all goofy and everything, and then this part happens with super sad music, and
That's another thing. Batman
like,
vs Superman had the same composer.
Oh,
and then,
did
and
it?
then you go into Whedon's version, and they changed it. They changed like a lot of the soundtrack up, and it's not like that, But once you hear like familiar themes from like Batman vs Superman, like at the end with the Lex Luthor theme, that dun,
Oh yeah.
dun, like or like anything to do with like Wonder Woman's theme or like anybody else's theme, it's just you really do see the consistency of that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The slow motion part, I was okay with it. I don't know if I would have been okay with it if it was in a movie theater. If I'm watching it, this 4-hour epic movie in a theater, I don't know if I would want all that slow motion in a theater. Now for streaming and HBO Max, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying about the music and everything, but the music was bothering me, and I just started laughing is when we got the little soft porn with Aquaman. And, he's over there on the barge, and he's over there, and all you hear in the background, like, what the hell's going
Very
on here?
strange.
That was like a full like 90-second song.
Yes, I'm like, what? And then you're literally watching the soft porn. He's taking his shirt off, and I know it's for the ladies, and some fellas, but mostly for the ladies. He's taking his shirt off. Like, what? I'm thinking to myself, did I just put it on Skinamax right now?
Yeah.
What's going on here? But that little, it was just a little too long for my taste.
Are you talking
And
about after he saved the sailor and he's walking out of the bar?
Yeah, and
Oh,
Batman
okay.
and Bruce Wayne's just watching him, and then you got these ladies,
Yeah.
people
Just
just
singing.
They
singing in the
shoulda-
background like
they
a.
shoulda-
Like,
I'm pretty
Oh
sure.
yeah, yeah.
They should have
I'm
cut
pretty
to
sure
one
Bruce
of 'em-
Wayne staring at him in slow motion, just like
yeah, I'm just like, what's going on here?
And even that one lady grabs like a sweater and just starts.
Yes.
I was like,
Like-
dang,
Right.
man.
smells like the sea.
This
Um,
this movie could have been like 3 hours and 59 minutes and not like 4 hours because of that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of little strange things sprinkled out throughout this whole movie that are like that, where it's like kind of like
Mhm.
fluffy, like scenes where it's like, is it a lady singing? Is it an arrow flying infinitely through the air? You know, like
Is it like every hero slowly walking upstairs?
Yeah, like
there's a one shot of them all slowly walking.
there's all
Oh,
these little
yeah,
weird
yeah.
scenes, but in the end, I think I forgive a lot of that stuff just because how like perfect and crisp the narrative is. Like
Oh,
yeah.
I'm just like, oh, I'm fine with it. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna judge it by the end of the film for these little, you know, things. You know,
Yeah.
You only really like a nitpick when it's just like a bad movie or like bad writing, but like when it's like good writing and stuff, it doesn't really matter.
oh yeah,
Of all the characters, because they actually build on a lot of the characters more on this movie, each one of them. I'll go straight to you, Rich, and then I'll go to Vic and then Jared. Rich, which one did you like? The best character build you liked out of all of them? What was the best one you liked as far as character build on this one?
I felt that like the best character build was the one that of course the lesser known hero out of all of them that the theatrical version really needed, and that was for Cyborg. No one knows about Cyborg. I don't even know about him. I didn't know who he was or anything. And the theatrical version completely cuts out all of his character development of
Right.
how he got to where he was. And then with the Snyder Cut, they give you all of his backstory. They even gave you the people that he's lost. Like I had no idea about his mom, and then in this one about his dad when at the very end when he tried to heat up, or he did heat up the mother box. But yeah, the character development for him was what needed to be in the original, and that was my favorite one.
Vic, which character development stood out to you?
yeah. It's Cyborg all the way. Like I don't know how many times that guy's scenes made me cry in that film, but yeah, it's just it's so touching. Like
Yeah.
everything about him, and I mean, I remember in the Whedon version, like I really disliked him because I just thought he had like an attitude problem.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
And
Exactly.
this one, I'm just rooting for him all the way, with the exception of like rooting for the entire team as a whole.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for him all the way throughout the end. So,
Jared, are you on the same level with these guys as far as Cyborg, the best development?
Yeah, I mean it's honestly like Cyborg and like Flash. They just like added so much. Like yeah, like the Cyborg stuff, him looking like at the empty seat, his like dad's like not like there, and then he like loses his mom, and then you have like Flash, he's trying to prove stuff to his dad, like that whole like ending scene with him like running back in time, he just like straight up talking to his dad, like he's just
that was fantastic.
that scene is so good, and
So
stuff that
good.
they just
Don't do
completely
it.
left out of the other one. They just completely left it all out. So they're just like 2D characters, but now they're just 3D characters now.
Real quick, one of the scenes that I really loved with Cyborg in the Snyder Cut they had was at the very end when they're trying to mess with his mind, and they're like, come be with us, you can be with us forever, everything will be perfect, you won't be alone. And then he finally accepts who he is, and he's like, I'm not alone, and I'm not broken. That's what he says. I'm not broken, and I'm not alone. And he breaks out of that psyche of that he's a monster or a freak. He finally accepts himself at the very end, which is fantastic of how to end that character development for him.
In the other movie, he goes booyah.
That's all you remember from originals
Yeah,
when he's
booyah.
saying that. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. No, I'm totally on par with you fellas on as far as the Cyborg, Flash. You know what else too is I didn't realize how much Wonder Woman was cut out. because
Oh
she had a
yeah.
lot more
Yeah.
scenes, a lot more to do with, you know, in this Snyder cut. I was very surprised how much of Wonder Woman that they have cut out, and knowing that was their prize, because you know Wonder Woman was their biggest box office.
Yeah.
As far as you know, is that is when they made that theatrical version. So I thought, you know, they cut a lot out of Wonder Woman as far as, you know, her with the dealing with the Amazons and them, her helping try to bring everybody together.
Yeah.
Her more scenes with Bruce. But yeah, it was pretty good, pretty good on the character developments that they did all around on here. All right, Rich, I'm gonna go to you. What was the one thing, the best thing you liked about this whole movie? What was the best one that stood out that you really enjoyed?
Uh, it would have to be the Flash scenes, and
Mm-hmm.
also they didn't make Aquaman such a douche in this one. Like
Mhm.
he was such, they made him
Mm-hmm.
like just a douche in the theatrical version. Like even the scene whenever he saves the guy from the boat, and you know he's drinking the whiskey and he's like it's on him, and he walks out and they start playing Iggy Thump, and he's just, you know, slow motion
Okay.
Yeah.
drinking his stuff, and they're
Unreal.
just making him, I don't know, it's like, okay, we get it, he's a badass.
Iggy
They just
Thump.
keep
Mm-hmm.
pushing and pushing and pushing. You know, this guy's a badass. And even the scene whenever Wonder Woman, I'm so glad they cut this scene where Wonder Woman had her lasso on him and he starts
Oh
just
yeah.
telling the truth. And he looks at Worm, he's like, and you, man, you're gorgeous. So it's like, oh my God, this is, they made, I
It's just
love,
Sweden for you.
yeah, I love this Aquaman. I mean, he was still a little douchey, but not 100% douche like he was in the
Yeah.
original one. But yeah, definitely the thing I love the most was all the Flash stuff. Flash is probably my favorite DC hero of all time. So I love that they added more for him.
Vic, what was your favorite part of this whole movie?
It's got to be like just the like really concrete like narrative. I just I like how almost every single character has like this like background narrative of like returning home or like returning like back to like honor this position. So like the most obvious one is like Aquaman, right? Just come back to Atlantis, take your mother's trident, and come and rule. You know, with Wonder Woman, you know, they're like, you know, you have to come back to the island. You got to be with the Amazons again. Superman needs to return home to become Superman again. In this, you know, when he first comes back, he's like crazy, and Lois has to bring him home. Even Steppenwolf wants to come home. You know, like
Yeah,
there's this
Yeah.
giant narrative of like just returning home, you know, and it's just once you get there, it's like so sweet, you know, at the end with the hero shot. So it's like it felt so warm inside after everything
yeah,
was done. So same thing with Cyborg, you know, like Cyborg, like you said, Rich, like meeting the parents, you know, like in the mother
yeah,
box. And then he realized, you know, he just needs to return home, you know, to put it all together. And he comes back and he rematerializes the radio that the little tape recorder thing that his dad
yeah.
gave him, and he listens to it, and it's just like, it's just beautiful. That's my favorite part of the movie.
Jared, how about you, my man?
Cyborg scene where he like gives like all that money to that like poor lady, and like that, like they even show she's like donating money and stuff.
Hmm.
So like just like him watching her like be happy, and him just like smiling like in the rain, like that was like probably like my like favorite moment. But
Mm.
also Flash's intro and like the whole like slow motion car crash thing, and just the fact that like Zack Snyder got to take his time, take 4 hours, and just slowly move throughout the movie, and just like at his own pace. There's no like 2 hour like cutting 2 hours, like no like rushing around or anything. Everything was so patient, and in the end it just like tied up perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just to speak on that Cyborg scene, you know, that was like super touching. But I mean, you gotta like give credit to the writing too, and the editing and all that stuff. Like, you know, the dad is telling him, you know, you got a second chance, you know, don't waste it. It's up to you how you're going to do this, like what you're going to do. And the first thing he does after coming back and to kind of not having like much emotion, more resentfulness for being back, is he does this act of good, you know, and it's just like the first thing he does when he comes back is he does this act of good layered with like,
Mhm.
you know, good editing, music and all that. And you just see like that lady, you know,
Mhm.
getting, I believe she was getting evicted or something at the apartment.
Yeah.
It's just like, man, that hurts. That
See
hurts in a good
that's
way.
the character development you needed, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
And it was so short,
'Cause,
you know, and don't
yeah.
tell me you can't do character development because like everyone knows the movie Up. Everyone
Yeah.
cries at the first 15
Mhm.
seconds. Like you can do it with editing and music, you know. You just
Yeah.
perfect visualization, and that's what a lot of this movie has.
Yeah.
Mm. Rich, what was the one thing that you least liked out of the whole movie?
The Snyder Cut?
And what was one big negative for you, if any?
That's hard, man. I'm not even gonna lie. This movie had everything for me. I mean, they even added Martian Manhunter. That was gonna be one of my negatives.
yeah.
Because I always was so confused of why they haven't even gave you a taste of Martian Manhunter. And then as I was thinking it, that scene happened whenever
Mhm.
he's talking to Lois, and that was it. That made the movie just perk for me. But it's like you said, he had his time. He had they told him just take your time. You got 4 hours. You know, he did 4 hours of a movie,
Yeah.
but so he
Yeah.
had time to do everything and add everything that he wanted. But it's hard to say. I mean, it's I don't have any negatives. Can't think of any right now. Maybe because I'm comparing it too much to the original, and there's too much
Mm.
positives.
I see what you're
So
saying.
it's
Yeah.
hard for me to think of a negative right now.
Jared, you have any negatives about this movie at all?
It's like 100% when Aquaman's leaving and the people are singing. I mean, it just doesn't
Oh,
belong.
yeah.
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
just I didn't need it. I mean, you could do it for 10, 15 seconds, but then she starts sniffing the shirt, she's singing some more. It's just like that's all I needed. So yeah.
Oh my
But
goodness.
other than that, you know, it's really
Has
good.
anyone rewatched it and seen if it still feels that long? Because you know sometimes you rewatch stuff and it's not as long as you remember it.
I watched it like the first time in like one sitting, but I've like watched it twice since, just like on the background over the last week. So like it's not I'm not just like sitting through it. But yeah, I mean, like I watched it twice over like 7 days. So
I can
Oh,
imagine
man.
just Jared washing dishes. He needs oh, it's that scene again.
I have
Damn
seen
scene.
in color and in black and white now.
Somebody
It's
needs
not
to
good.
somebody needs to re-edit that scene like on YouTube and like actually have the sniff like
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
I remember Jared doing that for Space City Sports with Zach Greinke when he made it super loud. But yeah,
Vic, how about you? Do you have any negatives
oh,
about this
it's
movie?
definitely the epilogue. Just the entry of the epilogue coming in
Oh, okay.
and like just giving you the most bummer mood. Like
oh yeah.
what is happening? Everyone's dead, everyone's dying. It's
So
like we
is
just
that a dream, or is that the actual future, or is it both? Because like Bruce like wakes up kind of like one of those like flash things where he just kind of like wakes up after.
Yeah.
yeah, like in Batman vs Superman, he had the same exact
Yeah.
dream, and that was before we knew what the anti-life equation was and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
it's the same like hellscape, and you presume, you know, something really horrible happened concerning Darkseid because the parademons are there too.
And like the whole like Lois is the key thing, Superman's pissed off.
Yeah,
It
that's the thing.
seems like that's all tied together.
If they had sprinkled the epilogue like throughout the movie and kind of shown you a little bit more of Bruce Wayne's motivation other than bringing back Superman like as a motivation, or rather, I don't know, he only actually, you know what he did, he only talked about it to people. He was like, something bad is happening, something bad's coming, you know. And it was always like, okay, yeah, we get it, you saw the thing in Batman vs Superman. But if they had sprinkled that epilogue throughout the movie, maybe it would have worked for me. But because it comes out at the end, that's my most disliked thing of it, because it's like the whole movie has like this nice, you know, narrative, and it ends great with the heroes triumphant and Darkseid getting pushed back in a different way.
Yeah.
and it goes straight to Batman dropping the F-bomb.
Rich, did you feel? How did you feel about the epilogue? How did you feel about the Batman Nightmare situation with
You
Joker?
know, well, for one, I thought it was too long. That part, I felt like it was hard to tell if is this a dream or what's going on right here, because it was really long. But I do like the fact that they go back to his dream from, what was it, Batman vs Superman, and they added that in
Mhm.
there. I do like that, but I take it back. There is a negative, and that's anything that Jesse Eisenberg's in, and I hate the fact that he's Lex Luthor.
Oh, I like him.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
dude,
Yeah.
he's so weak. He's not a villain. When I think of
I have
Jesse Eisenberg, all I think is just a like a shaky,
like Michael Cera.
It's
Yeah.
Arrested Development.
it's his quirkiness in Batman vs Superman that I like. I just like all the weird
Mhm.
little things that he does, like the psychological warfare that he does to people.
yeah.
Mhm.
So out of
Feeding them candy,
the
or like putting
out of the
yeah.
epilogue, that's my least favorite is anything with him. And then he tells Deathstroke, "Good boy," at the very end. So, you freaking puny little. Oh my god, I can't stand that guy. I can't believe that he's Lex Luthor.
Jared, what was your reaction to the epilogue?
It was definitely like you could tell it was just like so much like lower budget compared to like the rest of the movie. It seemed like it was like a handheld shaky cam. I'm pretty sure Zack Snyder actually filmed it. But then you got like Jared Leto doing his like thing. I'm not a huge fan of his Joker. He just seems like a crazy person and not really Joker to me.
Yeah.
But also like Batman just getting all pissed and saying that he's gonna kill him and stuff. It just didn't seem like Batman to me either. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It was like interesting. Maybe a cool little tease for like if like if like Snyder does come back eventually and like do something, it could like build towards that maybe. But
Mhm.
I think it was just like mainly just like a little like fan service thing.
Yeah,
Did
I agree. I agree with you about the fan service. I actually
Yeah.
I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it. It didn't go with what we're watching, but I didn't mind it. Like saying, "Hey, this could have been a cool little mini series of like a multiverse post-apocalyptic series they could do." And I didn't
Yeah.
mind it as far as that, but going with the movie it didn't really go with it. But just by its own entity separately, I kind of judged it by. I actually kind of enjoyed it. I kind of enjoyed, I know the F-bomb, but I enjoyed the conversation with Joker when he was talking about, Robin's blood all over, and then Batman said, "Well, what about Harley Quinn's blood all over you?" And so I kind of like that little back and forth. I enjoyed it. I
Yeah.
mean, like I said, it didn't go really with the movie, but as
No.
far as it being, I wouldn't mind seeing that post-apocalyptic little mini series if they ever could do it.
I
Like a
did.
little multiverse.
I did kind of like a seeing Joker kind of get shook for a second. Like he was just like staring at him and like his hand starts to kind of like wiggle.
Yeah.
Then he just like goes back in a jerk like a Joker saying like you almost had me or whatever. But yeah.
Did anybody have a reaction to him saying, "You need me, Batman. Who's gonna give you a reach around?" I was like, "What the
That
fuck?"
completely pulled me out of the movie.
That
Like completely.
yeah,
I was just
like,
like,
"What the hell is this?"
keep digging that hole, Jared Leto. You're never gonna own this
Yeah.
role. You're never gonna own it.
And then he quickly
Yeah.
got out of it. He's like, "Who's gonna give you reach around?"
Yeah. You don't have the
Anyways,
cojones.
yeah, it was
Cojones.
just
Shut up.
I don't know.
Get out of the movie.
I don't know if Jared Leto thought this was gonna
Yeah.
Stink
maybe
little
this
flounder.
maybe this is
Yeah.
gonna boost my bid for like as like a good Joker. But
So that was actually funny. The stanky old flounder line.
Yeah,
that
Oh,
was
yeah.
actually kind of funny.
Mhm.
Yeah.
but that reach
Yeah.
around part, they lost me right there.
Yeah. Too many negatives.
The Martian Manhunter scene. I'm not gonna say I didn't like. I don't know nothing about him, so it didn't really affect me. So I'm just like, okay. I didn't even know the story about him. I didn't. I assumed it was the Colonel guy or the General guy from the Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. But that's because I did the research, not because it interests me or anything. I had to do it, the research to say, okay, well, who the hell is this guy? I know if I know Rich said he loved that with Martian Manhunter. Um, Vic and Jared, did you guys enjoy that little the little appearance about him?
I don't really know anything about him. The only thing that I could think of was when he was posing as Martha. I was like,
Mhm.
what if like Lois brings up that conversation to Martha? Is Martha gonna be like, what the hell are you talking about? I was go to her house. But I don't know his like powers or like anything about him really.
Yeah. How about you, Vic?
I was excited for it. Like I flipped out. Like the design's a little, you know, it's CGI, right? So it's
Yeah.
like, but like just seeing him like in a movie, I was like freaking out, and like it was awesome. And I was like, is he gonna, play a role in like the final scene or something, But even if he didn't, just the fact that it was, Harry Lennox like the whole time, like that was fucking cool. And
Yeah.
like he's like the perfect actor and the perfect voice for him too, and like the perfect stoicism for him.
Mhm.
Like anything concerning him, like I can see that guy being like super traumatized by like his world being like on fire and stuff like that, or just I can see that character being fleshed out through his acting. Like
Yeah.
I can see it, and I hope they do something with him in the future, hopefully. But I don't know.
What's he do?
We got to cross our fingers. Who, Martian
Like
Manhunter?
yeah, like what's his thing?
Like shape shifting, morph, like going invisible. He does like a ton of
Mhm.
strange alien
Oh, okay.
stuff.
Yeah, he's super
Okay.
strong
Okay.
too.
So
But
so like that would make sense with him being Martha and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's not OP because I believe it was Brainiac that like destroyed his planet or someone, and they just set it all on fire or whatever. So he's kind of got like this like phobia to like things on fire, kind of like
Mhm.
yeah. It's just he's cool just because he kind of gives you that like kind of like secondhand guy that a lot more like knowledgeable person that can
Yeah.
give people like insight and information.
Mhm.
Obviously he's like in a big position of power too,
Yeah.
like so it's
You know,
cool.
that's a good quick little backstory with him about what he does and everything, because there's a lot of people out there probably like me and Jared, we have no idea who Mar- Martian Manhunter is. We're not that big per se in all of it. And, we're just I like to just call myself a mainstream DC and Marvel person, because I just watch the movies. I don't really watch do the comics. I didn't watch the stuff before. And with that being said, I think it probably would have been better. I would have loved to see Green Lantern in that appearance,
Yeah.
and it probably would relate to more fans, because a lot of fans are saying, "Well, who is this guy? Who is Manhunter?" I would have loved to see Green Lantern. I know I'm gonna get hit for this. I didn't even care if it was Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern. Which I'm probably one of the 5 people on the planet who didn't mind that movie.
Mm.
But I wouldn't even mind that. There was talks about what was the other Green Lantern. What was his name? Jordan something. I can't remember.
Hal Jordan.
Not Hal Jordan. Not Hal Jordan. Not Hal Jordan. The other one. Oh, I can't even remember what the other guy's name. But it was the other guy's name for to be Green Lantern. Or even didn't have to be just the Green Lantern. Can be one of the other Green Lanterns.
Yeah.
I think people would have saw that symbol and just recognized it, and I thought that would have been better for that scene. But
Yeah.
he didn't. He choose Martian Manhunter, which is fine. But I just think it would have been more relatable if he had Green Lantern. Do any of you guys agree if probably that would have probably worked out?
I heard that that Zack Snyder actually like wanted Ryan Reynolds back.
Oh,
Did he really?
Yeah, but it just like didn't work out. Like I don't think the studio would let him do it.
He bashed it pretty hard in Deadpool.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah. But like what you were saying about Green Lantern, well, the thing that gave me hope that they would bring Green Lantern in, like maybe if they do another one, was the fact that they had the Green Lanterns fighting, and they showed more of a Green Lantern fighting whenever they were talking about the mother boxes. And they showed them fighting, but the fact that they brought Martian Manhunter, it kind of gives me hope. Maybe they will bring Green Lantern, because I feel like he's the missing piece. That's it. After it was them too. When I think of Justice League, they have to be in there. Not so much Cyborg, but they added Cyborg. But I mean, he was fantastic in it. but kind of need the other two.
Well, I know they're doing a series, a Green Lantern series that they got greenlighted. So that's why I was hoping they were gonna maybe add one Green Lantern in there to kind of hype up the series, because I know they're gonna put a series on HBO Max in the near future.
Is like cartoon or like a live action or what?
I thought they said it was live action, but I'm not
Okay.
100% sure.
so.
But I
I
thought
haven't
it
really
was
heard, so I don't know.
live. Yeah, that they're writing the scripts right now for a series, for a Green Lantern series. So
I wouldn't have
all right,
minded
guys.
Ryan Reynolds. I saw some
Yeah.
clips yesterday, and I thought he was fine. It's just the CGI is so dated. For the time it
Oh,
was
yeah.
dated. That was the only thing.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, really good stuff. That's it for Justice League, the spoiler, Justice League of Snyder Cut. I just want to say, people out there, what is your reaction to the Snyder Cut? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Was it too long? And if it was too long, did you break it up? You didn't have to watch it in a theater. You had it at home on your streaming service. You could have watched an hour here, hour there, half hour there. I thought this movie was perfect for streaming. I thought this was perfect for HBO Max. So leave your comments down below. What did you like? What didn't you like? And as always, hit that like button. Subscribe to the Scoundrels. I'm Dave. For Vic, Jarrett, and Rich, remember, you can never have too many scoundrels in your life. Pow!